what do you believe every contractor should be doing? And I'm talking about, a contractor that's building custom homes,
Yeah.
that has a substantial business and is looking to attract the right clients to them.
Yeah. I think kind of segueing back to what I was saying earlier, I think it's extremely important because there's so little distinction in the market between good general contractors or good timber framers or good plumbers or good electricians. Like everyone's got a good product and they believe in it,
Mm-hmm.
but you find a way to find your voice in that industry and show people what's different about
It
you
broke
guys.
up just a
And
little bit right there. Did you say find a way to find your voice? Is that what you said?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. You need to find a way to find your voice and show your client uh, before they come to you that this is the right fit for us. And I think that's what we work on all the time is just making sure that our marketing and our brand image is being properly conveyed to our customer before they even walk in the door, so that they do make that uh, call to action, and they come to the model home, or they give us a call.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Kale, how do you find your voice?
Um, I think it's a little easier for us because we have this kind of craft that we're dealing with. Like we are joining wood with traditional joinery, mortise and tenon and peg. So I think that kind of played in real nicely to all the current trends of like shop small and support local artisans. So I think it was pretty easy for me to see like, wow, people find what we do extremely interesting. And if I can show them kind of our day-to-day operations somewhat, or whether it be through Instagram or short videos on Facebook or our website, like people are going to buy into this and they're going to think, man, that's cool. And so I think it was a little easier for us, but for a general contractor, yeah, I think you have to step back and think about what drives consumers. They want to see good imagery. Uh, they want to see outstanding customer service. So I think one big thing for a general contractor, and we've had problems with this with general contractors in the past, uh, is getting back to people. Like you can control. That's something you can control.
Mm-hmm.
You can get back to a customer immediately after they email you and say, hey, you know what? We're not going to have time to put together a bid for a week or two on this, but we did get your message and we value like you reaching out to us in particular.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a big thing, and then definitely the finished pictures. Like hire a good photographer and put out your best, show people your best in its best light.
Mm-hmm. Just following that line of thinking about exceptional customer service and getting back to people is things that you control.
Hmm.
How do you portray that though in your marketing, that that's really who you are? I mean, it's easy to say, well, we have great customer service.
Hmm.
Every company would
Right.
say that, but how do you how like if that's part of your voice, how do you convey that so that it when a person who's never met you before is doing their research and they find you online, and they how can they begin to like you and trust you enough to
Right.
want to do business with you?
Right. So I think for a larger company, um, the goal might be to find a way to personalize or personify your business to a client. Make it so when they're looking at your website, they see photos of your team and they feel like they're getting to know you, so that they feel comfortable reaching out to you and making that connection. And then when they do follow through with that call to action and they reach out to you, you gotta make sure that you're following up on it, and you're valuing the fact that these people appreciate what you're doing for a living. Like that's like the coolest thing, somebody kind of vetting what you do for a living. They're saying, hey, we like what we see and we want to hire you to build our house. That's awesome.
That is
And
awesome.
you gotta treat every customer that contacts you like, hey, we appreciate you and we're excited that you're excited about us and we're gonna get back to you and we're gonna hold your
Man,
hand through this whole project.
that is
Project.
so good. I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking about corporations,
Mhm.
the popular cell phone companies, and when you call, you get the feeling on some of them that they could care less about you, and
Oh,
they don't even care that you called in.
right.
But when, yeah, I just love that mindset of keeping in mind this person called me because
Yeah.
they did their research and they like what they see, therefore they're calling me, and then treat them that way.
Right, that stuff blows my mind. Every time somebody reaches out to us, it's like, "Man, what I'm doing is cool," and it's that vets it. Like, I'm doing something different, and it's awesome, and I need to let these people know I appreciate you.
That's sweet. Now, you mentioned call to action a few times. Is there a specific call to action every general contractor should use, or does it vary with the contractor and how their sales process is set up?
Right. I think you hit on it there. Like I think it really depends on what's the easiest way to get in contact with you. Uh, the call to action ought to be call our office if you've got somebody sitting by a phone all the time, or send us an email and we'll get back to you
Mm-hmm.
in a timely manner. But if that's not the best way to reach you, maybe your call to action is
Shoot us a text. I don't know. Like, that would be
Could
absolutely fine,
could do
and
that
we work
nowadays, huh?
right, and we work with a lot of people that are like, "The best way to get a hold of me is to shoot me a text message," and that's fine. That's great. So I
Mm-hmm.
think your call to action should definitely be catered to what you can maintain. Like, if you can maintain getting back to people quickly through email, that's what it should be.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned driving traffic and you mentioned pay per click ads. Something that's pretty, it can be, scary or nerve wracking is dumping a bunch of money into pay per click ads and it yields nothing in return. So, how is the best way to go about this whole thing? Driving
Um,
traffic through ads.
I think the first thing, and you protractors will understand this analogy, you got to start from the foundation up. Like, if you build a good website and a good landing page where people are coming to and and they're seeing pictures of finished projects and they can see you building their home, like that's going to go a long way. So I think where a lot of people end up wasting money on pay per click, obviously, if they're wasting money, people are being driven to their website because they're clicking and you're being
Mm,
charged for it.
true.
But what's happening after they land there? Are they quickly exiting your page and looking for a different general contractor, or are you hooking them with something? Are you hooking them with a sick photo of a timber frame interior that they can see their family living in?
Hmm.
So I think that's the main thing. If you don't want to waste money on Google AdWords or Facebook advertising or house advertising, you've got to have good imagery.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. We get so many compliments, and I think we could do a better job with this. And but we get a ton of compliments from people constantly saying like, "We just love being on your website. We enjoyed looking at the pictures, and that's what brought us here. It was the marketing." So that's awesome to hear as a marketer.
For sure.
That's just as exciting as someone saying that they like your product.
Well, in a sense, it kind of is your personal
Yeah.
product because that's what you're
Right.
building. Um, okay, just exploring this a little further. Um, in the internet marketing world, I mean, the money's in the list. So the goal is to grow your list and nurture relationship with that list and eventually offer them your product and they buy it. And that's how a person makes a living through internet marketing. But a general contractor is building a house and that's his product, and his goal is to win the trust of a homeowner or, a consumer, somebody who will hire him to come build his house. So the internet marketing model may not necessarily work per
Hmm.
se, where you just drive traffic to a landing page, they join
Right.
your list and you nurture that list over time. It I think there's ways that it can work, but
Yeah.
what do you think, like, when it comes to ads and driving traffic to your website? What are you really looking for? What do you want that person to do? Because honestly, a homeowner that wants a custom home built or a timber frame home built probably won't click on your ad and call you that same day. I mean, they may, but they're in the research mode, right? They're
Right.
looking for ideas, and this might be a year-long process or more, of just gathering ideas and, oh, I'm going to click on that. Oh, I like that, but they just file it and they may not file it. So how do you follow up with someone who all they did was visit your website? And I don't know. I just got a lot of questions in that whole
Yeah,
area.
no, that's an awesome question, and I think it's easy if you're doing a good job at that, like driving traffic to a website that people are enjoying and they're reaching out to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to end up wasting a lot of time on the wrong client because um, I mean, in the past, we've been guilty of this. I think we've reached out with personal emails to everyone that touched base with us about a custom timber frame, and spent a lot of time crafting these emails to make sure that they felt like we were listening and all their needs would be met, and didn't end up getting anything out of it. I think that's a risk you got to be willing to take, but a process that we kind of put in place to kind of minimize this, and this is pretty recent. Um, like we definitely have the kind of form letters that we can tailor to fit whoever's reaching out to us.
Okay.
But recently we saw, because we weren't offering any stock home plans on our website, um, we were only getting inquiries about custom builds, and custom builds, are more time consuming.
For sure.
So we've made a relationship with a young architect in Vermont. His dad has been drawing timber frame plans for 30 some years, but their name's Timberworks Design, and Ryan Wygan is the son, and he's who we've been kind of dealing with through this process. But we've been featuring their plans on our website now, and this gives people kind of a starting place.
Mm.
They can look on our website and see, wow, I love the Caledonia, or I love the Burke from Timberworks Design. What's something like that run? What
Yeah.
would we be looking at turnkey to get into that? And and we have a bunch of bid sheets already made up for those builds, and we can basically turn those bids out quick and save a lot of time. But that's a relationship that we've been kind of it's in the early stages, and we're real happy with where it's going.
Yeah. I love that idea. Now,
Hmm.
so if you're going to create an ad on Facebook, what is that ad going to look like and what will it say?
Um, you know, I think more than anything, uh, we don't really do any advertising on Facebook anymore. But like,
What,
take
do
Google
you do it
AdWords.
on Google AdWords then?
Yeah, we do a lot of Google AdWords. We pretty much nixed all of our print media marketing dollars
Mm-hmm.
and funnel that into pay per click with AdWords. Um, I think those, like AdWords, house, they do a good job of like integrating native looking ads into their search results. So we always kind of start with like, what's our unique value proposition, and to us it's like um, timber frame home kits, or like whatever it is that you're offering that's going to catch that person's eye real quick. And then the line before, or the line below that, tell them a little bit about, like, we've been in business for 30 years serving this area. I think that's a good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's great, like with Google AdWords, they'll help you kind of work through what it is you should be saying in those to drive good traffic, and they'll show you what your competitors are using. And that's another good way to do it. Just use search terms on Google and look at what your competitors are saying in their AdWords campaigns, and look to the people look to the companies in your industry who you'd like to emulate, see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the approach that we've always taken. There's definitely people in every industry that that you look up to, and companies that you look up to, and you think, wow, they're doing a really cool thing here, or they've really found their voice. Like we are offering a very similar product. Should we try to align our branding a little more with like what they're doing?
Mm-hmm. So, and then you would, with Google AdWords, you can set your budget, your monthly budget or your how much you're willing to spend, and just let their engine run. Is that how you do it?
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what we do. We've kind of isolated the markets that
We feel are the most profitable for us, and where people have the expendable income to build a house like this, and where these houses are popular. We kind of hone in on those geographic areas, and then I'll set a budget per day, and I'll customize that ad that's going to be running in that geographic location. So if I'm running
Yeah.
an ad in the Adirondacks in upstate New York, the top of my ad might be like Adirondack mountain homes, like timber frame homes from Settlement Post and Beam, serving this community for 30 years, whatever it is.
Yep.
But yeah, and that's what's so great about pay per click is you can really hone in on who your client is and weed out a lot of the bad leads.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
Um, what about SEO? Or have you worked on your search engine optimization within your website, and how's that going for you?
It's going good. I feel like you can always improve SEO if you're a small company. It's tough to make it to the top, but
We use a web builder called Wix. It's probably a lot of protractors have heard of that if they've ever tried to design their own website. But Wix does have an online SEO optimization tool that you can kind of run through, work on your headings, your site title to make sure that Google spiders are like analyzing the information on your website right. And like I said, you can always do a better job of this, and I look at it all the time, and I still feel like there's a lot of room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also quickly end up in the weeds looking at SEO, I found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Okay, man. We haven't even touched on social media yet. So let's briefly talk about that. How
yeah.
are you marketing your business on social media?
Um, well, we've kind of taken the stance that we've tried advertising on Facebook, like I said, and I felt that it was just kind of a waste of money. We got a lot of dreamers, and
So recently, actually,
let's see, last November, I started an Instagram page finally. And my wife, she was also a marketing major in school. And she's like, you got to get on Instagram. You got to get on Instagram.
and I'm like, oh, come on, like Instagram's for kids. Like, finally, I got on Instagram and I found out what an amazing community of woodworkers there is on there. So we started reaching out to, and liking, commenting on different people within our industries posts, and quickly found a following. Like, and this ties into like good imagery again. I'm a firm believer in like, don't put all of your work out there, put out your best work. Take, go to each finished product or finished frame, take 15 photos and keep two of them, keep the two best, put those out there for people to see. You don't have to have thousands of images to leaf through. So on Instagram, we kind of took that mindset, and then it kind of evolved into I like to share some posts about like day-to-day operations, us laying out joinery, some videos of finished products, some videos of processes like cutting compound joinery on hip and valley rafters. People really seem to like that stuff, and I was happy to share it. It's like I said, it goes back to it's fun to be recognized for what you're doing, and I feel like we built a pretty good community quickly
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram. And I could see in the future where that could it does drive traffic to our website, but a lot of times it's people that are either looking to do a timber frame themselves, or they want to work for us, or they just want to chat. They just want to talk about what we do. So we haven't seen a lot of business come through from it. I
That's
do think that
interesting.
it puts a good foot forward for customers that are working with us already. They can keep up to date on what we're doing. It's like a constantly updating, uh, constantly updating, uh, yeah, flow of our work.
Yeah. Do you do stories?
Yeah, we do. I definitely try to do stories whenever we're doing an installation,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where a lot of like the fun imagery comes in when we're, raising 30-foot wide hammer beam trusses with a crane. Like that stuff grabs an audience quick. And another thing is when we're doing an installation, we're out on the road, so I can tag stuff like we're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania right now, so it's hitting a whole different community there
Mm.
when I put hashtag Pittsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we do stories, but I could probably do more with the stories.
Yeah. Cool. So now, just quickly, how does your business, Settlement Post and Beam, use technology as far as running your business? The day-to-day operations.
hmm Yeah, I feel like we're pretty slow to act on a lot of technology. A lot of the subs that we've worked with and a lot of the general contractors are using, Builder Trend, Procore, stuff like that. And we really haven't acted on it yet, just because we've had procedures in place that have worked for us for a long time. And I think that that could be kind of a next move for us to kind of try to streamline and again optimize. Like if you can optimize your day-to-day operations, you're creating free time for yourself at the end of the day. If I can stay on task and do something quicker, that's awesome. But probably the biggest piece of technology we use, other than the like Instagram and all the marketing stuff, is Google SketchUp. SketchUp is a very powerful tool for timber framers specifically, and or not specifically. It's a great tool for anybody that
Yeah.
wants to model, but timber framers definitely as well. Like timber frames, like if you look around a timber frame, it's basically any timber or post is just an extruded rectangle or an extruded square. So you can quickly teach yourself to design and draw timber structures. So um, I've kind of took it upon myself uh, 6 or 7 years ago to teach myself the basics of SketchUp with YouTube videos, reaching out to people, letting them know I don't know anything. I just want to learn, and so I do a fair amount of frame design now, and a lot of times that's kind of like the beginning idea of for the timber frame that we'll pass on to an architect. Like this is kind of the direction we want to head. Now, can you please engineer it for us? So SketchUp, it's incredible. It's a great way to visualize something. You can feel space in 3 dimensions, and I think customers love it. They really do.